Hello everybody! Hi! Oh my god, I am so happy to be here. I have not been here in a while. Hello! How are you? How have you been? Happy Monday. Just in case you are new here and you have no idea who I am, my name is Tehesa Bojona. Hi Ivy, I love you so much. Thank you for showing up. Hi Papa, long time no see or talk. I saw you. I loved your comment on Instagram. I loved your caption. Hi Ladonna. Hi Favor. Hi Romana. Hello everybody. I am so sorry I'm showing up a little bit later than I had promised. Because I actually had to pick up my son early from school. He had something going on with, like, he was coughing a little bit, so I had to pick him up, which is why I got here a little bit late, but it's all good, nothing to worry about, right? And I'm really happy to be here now, right? Hello everybody. Where are you joining me from? So most of you I actually know. Ladonna, I don't think, have we met before? Can you tell me where you're joining me from? Ivy, I know you're joining from New York. Yes, you are now like really good friends now. Hi Romana, I'm not sure if I have seen you on any of my live streams before. Hello, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Please let me know where are you joining me from, right? So this live stream is all about like why awakening. Hi Joanna. Why awakening your intuition is super important, especially now more than ever before, right? More than ever before. So the first reason I'm going to share, right? One of the first things that I'm going to be sharing is, you know how a lot of the time, right? Napaville, close to Chicago. Romana is joining us from Napaville, okay, close to Chicago. I've been following you for a while. Well, I am so happy to finally meet you. I'm so happy to have you here, right? Anyways, so do you know how, like, one of the major reasons why, like, whether it's online, whether it's offline, like, us as human beings, sometimes we have such a hard time with having confidence in what we are doing, or moving, you know, like having confidence, trusting ourselves in what we are doing. And we are, hi Gabrielle, nice to see you, right? And we oftentimes, you know, like sometimes, hi Katina, how, like, when we are trying to do something, let's say for example you decide, okay, I am going to open a yoga center, for example, right? I decided I want to open a yoga center. Instead of you know, like having that confidence and having that deep inside, that knowing that, okay, I know, like deep inside, I know that this is something that I want to do. We go around and then we start asking people, what do you think about this idea, right? Do you think it's a good idea for me to open a yoga center? Do you think it's a good idea for me to start coaching online? Do you think it's a good idea for me to do XYZ, right? Why do we get ourselves tangled up in that kind of situation? And quite often, right? So what that means is we are relying on information from outside, right? From other people to actually give us information about us. Right. And I see this over and over again, and I actually have been trapped into that kind of mindset myself, right, for many years, right? And it wasn't until, like, I feel like even sometimes I still have to break myself out of it. Hi Ladonna, I'm joining you from St. Paul, Minnesota. Yay! You are not too far from me, right? So why do we get ourselves trapped in that? It's because we have lost our, like, inner guidance system, right? Because we are relying on our five senses, right? We are relying just on our five senses, and we are relying on, you know, like what we see in this physical world, and we are only relying on what other people are going to say, what it's going to look like from other people's perspective. This is one thing that I have come to see, right, is that when we actually start shifting, we start awakening that instead of relying on all, like, the five senses, which means the smell, touch, like everything that we all know, like sight, right? All the things that we see physically, we rely on that, right? But actually, what I have come to see is that's actually a big illusion, right? That can be loaded with a lot of illusion. That can be loaded with a lot of preconceptions. That can be loaded with a lot of limiting beliefs. In a way that somebody can get trap themselves into believing something is not possible, right? Whereas anything is possible. It's not possible because I am only relying on this guiding system, right? If we are believing that something is not possible, right? It's not possible until it's done by somebody who actually is relying on his or her inner guidance to actually make it happen. Then all the people that are only relying on their five senses will start following, because at that moment, at that time, it is tangible, it's something that they can see with their own eyes, or something that they can probably touch. Then they can believe in that. But here's the kicker, right? See, I feel like everybody needs to wake up about this, right? Here's the kicker, right? How do we become leaders, right? Or how did all those people who started creating things that other people thought were impossible at the time, right? It's impossible until somebody, it was impossible until somebody made it possible, right? So how did that person who made it possible, how did he or she make it possible? That's because he or she refused, right? Refused to rely on just his or her five senses, refused to rely on data, refused to rely on preconceptions, refused to rely on all those things from our five senses, and decided to go inward and to go inside and to follow probably intuition, to follow sixth sense, to follow and to ask guidance from that space and say, oh, okay, so I know from my five senses it doesn't make sense, but show me how, right? But show me how. I know it's possible. If I can think about it, I can create it. And then going from that perspective. So when we actually start relying more and more, or at least trusting or following guidance from our sixth sense, right? Our sixth sense or our intuition, we gain more confidence. Right? We gain more confidence. I see this over and over again. Sometimes now people may think I'm arrogant. People may think, oh my God, the Hesse doesn't care about anything. Like for example, somebody can come to me and say, I'm going to give you XYZ so that you can do this. If it doesn't feel right, because if I'm anchored inside of myself and I'm like, whatever XYZ you're promising me, I can create it any other way. If I choose to, I can have it. I can make it happen. If I choose to, I can create it, right? So I'm not going to rely on what it looks like from outside, but I'm going to rely, I'm going to rely on my inner guiding system to come up with newer things. That's how, right? That is how like creative or like creative minds start. That's how people that we call like so-called leaders, like quote unquote, right? That is how people become leaders, because they are not just following some sort of status quo, right? They go within, they follow their intuition, and they can create a whole lot of things that may have looked like maybe crazy if they had talked about it to somebody, right? To somebody, but deep inside they were so anchored, they knew, right? They knew where they could go from guidance. They knew where they could ask for information, right? They knew how to tap into, I call it the database of the universe, because the universe is like, it's full, there's nothing we can create as long as we know how to tap into that database of the universe. So where am I going with this, right? So I've seen, like, if you are like an online coach, or like you sell anything online or even offline, right? You may have seen that, hey Jacqueline, nice to have you here, right? You may have seen that there's always some sort of trend that happens. There's always maybe somebody that comes up with like a brilliant idea that seems to be working for her or him very well, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to copy and create the exact same thing, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. The problem with that is, especially when, for example, the person that created this program, especially when they start teaching the exact same thing to 10,000 other people, right? So 10,000 other people come up with the same exact strategy, and then they start teaching the exact same thing. And so what happens when you see something over and over and over and over again, right? What happens is, as soon as you see like, okay, I've seen that before, right? I'm not interested anymore, right? Or I know what's coming next, and so on and so forth. And so, now, so you can see like everywhere now, like there's like copycats all over it. And there's nothing wrong with being inspired by somebody's work, nothing wrong with that. But it's only when we can actually let our own essence into it, only when we can let our own guidance into it, right? Our own true self, our own energy, our own whatever else, right? It's only then that it becomes so unique. It becomes so unique, right? You can take this exact same thing, but put your own essence into it and make it so unique that people will be looking at you like, oh, I've never heard it put that way, right? I have never heard it put that way. And that's how I have been able to actually grow my business this far, this fast, in this way, right? It's not because, right? And don't get me wrong, for a while I got stuck up into, okay, I want to follow this strategy, I want to follow this strategy, I want to follow this strategy. But it wasn't only until I started really embodying, like letting myself, right, really truly letting myself like shine into my work, that everything changed. Everything totally changed. Because one thing, there's only one Alicia, there's only one Jacqueline, there's only one Tessa, there's only one whoever else is here, right? But if we are trying to be somebody else, then we don't allow ourselves to really come out. And to me, it's kind of like some sort of freedom, right? It's kind of like being free, feeling free to be ourselves, And to me, that is the most magnificent thing that you can ever have the ability to do, right? The biggest success that you can ever create is the success of you, which means the growth that you encounter, the growth that you create as you being a human being on this planet Earth. So that's one thing, right? Number one, instead of, like relying on, and I myself, like, I have a coach, right? And hi Raminisita, thank you, right? And for a while that I got stuck because her ways of doing things were totally different than my ways of doing things. So like, I was like, oh my gosh, she's my mentor, so I have to follow what she said, right? But it was totally different. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm paying all this money, then I better follow this. And one day I decided, you know what? Screw this, right? I am going to free myself. I am going to just be me, right? And then I realized, oh, I can do this by myself, right? I am just going to be me. And if you allow yourself to just be you, right? If you allow yourself to just be you in your work and follow your intuition and follow your sixth sense, right? That's the biggest asset that you can ever have, right? That is the biggest asset that you can ever have. Because it's always there. You can tap into it anytime, right? This is how I do it. I ask my intuition, I ask my true self, I ask my true essence, how can I make $3,000 today, right? What are the steps that I can take to do this today, right? What are the steps that I can take to reach XYZ amount of dollars this month? And then I follow that. Right? Things pop up in my mind. I'm like, oh, okay. Even like it's recently, everybody may have noticed about Facebook. Facebook changed everything about like the organic reach and everything. Everybody is panicking. Oh my God, online marketing is over. Facebook marketing is over. I'm like, no, it's not. All we need to do is step back, right? if we can follow that inner guidance, if we can follow that intuition, that sixth sense, it will always guide you in which ways, right? Which ways to actually get more rich, right? Right now, I probably have more rich, like more people live than I've had in a very long time, because ever since Facebook has changed its algorithm and whatever, like when I come live, I probably usually have like half of the people that I have now live. And so what did I do? I just went inside again and I asked myself, I asked my true self and I asked my intuition, what is the way that I can actually get more people live? What is the way that I can get more rich? More people to see my content, more people to see what I'm doing. Like, show me the different ways. And then all of a sudden it pops up, right? Which is exactly what I did today. What did I do? I just said, oh, okay, let me send an email to my list and say, okay, I'm going live today, right? Please join me. And then an idea popped up. Oh, while you're sending the emails, just remind them to actually click the follow button and then click see first, right? So those little things, it's not like somebody told me do it. It's just that intuitively I'm like, oh, okay, this is some of the ways that you can make this happen, right? As opposed to relying on somebody else and saying, oh, okay, I'm going to ask this person, this like a super expert, and there's nothing wrong with experts, right? We all learn from other people, and I still learn tremendously from other people, but we can learn from other people and still, right? Still, like, we can gather all that information from other people, but then, gather the information and bring it to our true self, bring it to our intuition, bring it to our true essence, and ask, what are the best things amongst all these things that I have here that will work best for me, right? So that's number one, is like awakening our sixth sense, awakening our intuition, awakening our like inner guidance. Help us, like that'll be the one thing that will help you be so unique in what you do, right? That people will be wondering, I wonder what's going on with her, right? I wonder where she came up with those ideas from. I come up with strategies that no one else is using out there yet. Like I have so many different strategies now that I use personally in my business, right? And I know even like my coach sometimes, I'm not going to say it out loud, right? My mentor sometimes, she uses my strategies. Why? Because those strategies come from inside. That's not because I relied on somebody else to give me those strategies. That's because I took, I look at what's out there and I wonder to myself and I ask my inner guidance through energy, which I'm going to get to in just a minute, through energy, and ask myself. I have to charge my phone before it goes off and ask myself, I know, I'm crazy. Sometimes I'm crazy. And ask myself, how do I do it, right? How do I do it? How can I do it, right? Inner guidance, true self rocks, all that is the way to do it, right? Otherwise, what we end up doing is just recreating what other people created. And all right, let's see. Hi, Barbara, nice to see you here. Oh my God, this phone. All right, I'm going to do this. How about that? I have to hold this so it doesn't fall, my phone. I'm trying to charge it. So otherwise, what ends up happening is people just get tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Hi, Charlotte. So nice to see you. Looking forward to our chat this week. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. So how do we develop our sixth sense? Through energy. We could develop our sixth sense. Actually, it's as easy as that, right? Through learning to sense energy, because feeling and sensing energy is not from our five senses. It's actually from then. It's sixth sense. And the more you start developing your sixth sense, the more, Alicia says you're not crazy. Words have power. Cancel that statement. No, I'm not. I'm crazy in a really good way, actually. Cancel. I actually don't think, here's the thing, I don't think crazy is a bad thing. Actually, I think crazy is a very, very good thing. I think it's all about, it's like, to me, crazy is out of the norm, and I totally do not fit any norms at all. And I like that. My kids call me, Mom, you are insane. And I say, yes, I am. You know, because I don't fit any norms at all. Like, if you know me in my regular life, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But yet, like I said earlier in the post, it's like I march to my own drums. And that is awesome. And that is awesome, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, so where was I? So how do we awaken our sixth sense, or seventh sense, and eighth sense? Because there's a whole lot more to it than that. So it comes down to, first, our brain. You may have heard me talk about the brain before, right? All this is actually about our brain. Our ability to sense, awaken our sixth sense is our brain. It's about really tapping into our brain stem more often. Barbara says, okay, I'm smiling, I understand. I know you understand, Alicia. See, we are a whole bunch of people, crazy people, and that is a good thing. Hi, Barbara. Yeah, and so the more we can awaken that part of our brain that is our sixth sense, right? All these other people that like have psychic abilities, or like can see, or like what do you say? Romincita said, can't stop smiling because you keep on smiling and you are expressing all what you're saying in pure hearts and heart. Oh, you are so sweet. Romincita. I hope I'm saying your name right? Romincita? Yeah. I hope I'm saying your name right. And so, yeah, so how do we, the more we awaken we awaken those parts of our brain, the more we awaken those senses, and it's magical. It is truly magical. Everybody that I've been in either programs with, or everybody that I've worked with, like, everybody always wonders, like, how is it that she's getting those results and I am not getting those results yet? That's because I rely on something much bigger than just knowledge, right? Just knowledge. And so there's so much more to this, right? There's so much more to this that, I've been sharing over and over and over again. But like throughout this week, I'm going to be sharing more and more and more about this also, right? But I'm begging you, I'm begging you, if there's nothing that you can do, like if there's one thing that you have to do, please, like now more than ever, right? In case you haven't noticed it, the world is changing. The world is totally changing, and the more if you look around, you'll see that the people that are only like relying, or only teaching, or only sharing about like a technical parts, and they are really forgetting about the deeper things, the true essence thing, the deeper reason, the subconscious things, and all like that. It's kind of dying down, right? It is kind of dying down, because that alone is not enough. Like, you can learn all the strategy, and I've seen this so many times, right? Or you can learn all the strategies you want, right? But if that part, again, because more and more now the world is changing so much, and it's like the earth itself is placing herself in a place where, like, it's like you have to wake up or else, or something like that. And the beautiful part of this is that if you start right away, if you start now awakening that part, or if you already started, that's beautiful news. Then you'll see how, like, even the energy on earth is changing, how now things, this is a good news, and also not so good news depending on where you are, right? It's really, really good news for you if you are now already relying on your sixth sense, relying on your inner self, like really like digging deep. It's really good news for you, because now we are in a new era where like our mind is creating faster. Right, our mind is creating faster and faster and faster the things that we desire. Okay, let me rephrase that. Our minds are creating faster. Our power of creation is like amplifying bigger and bigger and bigger. But this is what it means. It means that we either learn, right, to really align ourselves and shift ourselves quickly, much quicker, to our desires, or we'll start much. So if we learn how to shift quickly, much quicker to what we desire to create, then we'll create that faster, faster, faster. But on the opposite hand, if we are stuck in our limiting beliefs, and if we are stuck believing things like, oh my God, in my country, no one will say, or like in my field, no one will pay for these fees for my services, or oh my God, I don't think, I don't think, whatever it is that we believe, then that will create that faster, 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 right? That's what that means, which means, this is why I said, now, like, if you're not doing it yet, now more than ever, it's time. It's time, because you can either like quickly, much faster, create the things that you don't want, or much faster, create the things that you desire. So what's the difference here? The difference is knowing and learning how to shift quickly because of all the vibration. Absolutely, right? You can feel it. If you can feel energy, you feel it's happening all over the place. I'm not making it up, right? If you know, you know. If you don't know, then I don't know what to say, right? It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. And so we get to choose. So depending on our choices, depending on where we vibrate ourselves, depending on where our mind is, right? The faster we'll create either disasters, or the faster we create all the beautiful things, right? So it's all about, so when I'm talking about this, it's not just about, creating things, right? Things are beautiful, right, to create in our lives, but at the same time, it's our consciousness as a human, like a humanity, right? And so that means, what this means is that we can either faster create growth and what do you call it? Like with our mind, we can either faster create healing in the world, or we can create destruction much faster. So we are at a point where we have to choose as humanity, right? We are at the point where we have to choose, which brings me to my big passion, right? Which brings me to the reason, again, like how to awaken your sixth sense through energy. Through energy, you can awaken your sixth sense. It's like no-brainer, right? All of you that are here know that already, right? Heart too, we have to remember, yeah, our heart, yeah. And so, which bring, okay, Romincita says, loved it. If you don't know, then I don't know. I don't know what to say. I feel that too when express myself to other people. Yeah. So sometimes, like, maybe they're not awakened to it yet, but they will get it eventually. They'll get there. They'll get there because it's where we headed. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. But we don't need to force anything on anybody, right? We can just share our mind. You can just share our heart, and then whoever can absorb it at the time. If they cannot absorb it at the time, then maybe another time they will, right? So which brings me to my big passion, right? Recently, one of the things that I asked myself, right? Because when I started this particular coaching business, I've always said my reason for starting this business is, right, to help bring healing to the world, and at the same time bring healing to myself. And at the same, because I knew like it was no brainer for me while I was like bringing healing. Thank you, Ramincita. While I was bringing healing to other people, at the same time, like the more healing I would bring to somebody, the more healing I was getting myself. And so that was one big reason why, even when things were challenging, I would go through it anyways, because the big reason why I was doing it was much bigger than money, it was much bigger than it was just much bigger than business. It was so much bigger than that, right? And so now I am so passionate, super passionate about helping anybody that is like kind of has that consciousness that is looking to also bring their own healing, like bring their own gifts and bring their own awakenings to other people, so that we can heal the world together. Right? Because one person cannot do it, and I'm not saying I'm that person, no way, right? But all of us together, all of us together can do this, right? And I felt like one of the things that I had such a hard time with when I first started, right, was because my mind was so much into healing people and bringing healing people, bringing healing to as many people as possible. One thing that I neglected, right, or I wasn't even paying attention to, was the fact that for me to be able to actually effectively make an impact in this world as much as I wanted to, I had to run my business as a business, which means I had to actually have like a considerable income in my business. One thing that I have seen, especially with heart-centered entrepreneurs or people that are like the whole thing, right? Their whole life is about bringing healing to the world. Their whole life is about bringing more healing to the earth. We tend to forget about the practical part of bringing healing to the earth, right? Bringing healing to the earth. And one thing that I have come to notice and realize, and it's been really, really amazing for me, is that the more we focus on the healing, and then at the same time we focus on the practicality of running the business, that is only when we can really, really make like a true impact in the world, on the earth, on the planet, on humanity, and all that. Because if you are struggling with money in your business, right? I know people may glaze their eyes, right, about money, because I used to be one of those people like, okay, it's all about money, forget about it. But it matters. It matters. Why? Because money has its own energy also, right? There was a point where I had to stop and actually study about money. Study about money, learn about money, and learn. Not, right? Of course, buying things, like having a nice vacation is all fun. I love a nice vacation, right? But to me, the most important part became, right, if I don't bring enough money in my business, if I don't learn how to actually run my business as a business, then all these things all the work that I have done so far, one day is going to just die, because I will not have the resources to actually keep going. Right? I will not have the resources to keep the business running, right? Which is why, right? So if you are here and you are like a heart-centered entrepreneur, or you are bringing any sort of healing into the world of people, I would like to invite you to join me in my newest program, which is called Hello 5K to 10K months, right? Hello 5K to 10K months. A lot of people I have started working with, when they started working with me, right, we will see on the Ivy says, Tessa, you're such a beautiful person. You're always sharing from your heart. I love you. Do you know how much I love you? I think you do know how much I love you, right, Ivy? I think you do know how much I love you, yeah. And so my newest program, right, and it's actually a 6-week program, and hi Isabel, and the program is really not about, learning like how to run Facebook ads. It's not about learning how to grow your email list. It's not about any of that. It's actually much deeper than that. It's about deeply rooted reasons why, if you have had clients in your business before, but you have not reached those like 5K to 10K months, right? And you've been pouring your heart, you've been waiting for those clients, you've been really wanting to really share your heart with your audience, with your clients, right? And then maybe you're not being paid enough, or maybe whatever it is for you, right? Whatever reason it is, but you are not, right? You have not brought in those 5K regularly, or 5K or 5K to 10K regularly in your business. I'll really, 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 invite you to join us in the program. It's called Hello 5K to 10K Cash Month, right? And I'll put a link somewhere around here after I get off the call, where you can actually go and then check it out. There's lots of bonuses, right? Lots of bonuses for you if you join in the next few hours or so. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up the page so that I can read what I have on it for you. Oh. All right. Right. So some of the the main reasons why people are not making it, right? And it's not as difficult as you may think. It is not as difficult as you may think, right? And many of the reasons why you may not be getting there yet are absolutely not what you think. It's not because you don't have the latest strategy. It's not because you don't have all the shiny tools. It has nothing to do with that, right? It has absolutely nothing to do with that. And those are the things that I'll be covering during the 6 weeks. During the 6 weeks, and this is starting in just like, okay, you'll see on the page, I think like in just like a week or so, a week and a half or so, that is starting. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you don't, especially, right? And this program, again, this program is actually not for, if you like haven't figured out exactly what your gift is, if you have not been online, if you haven't had any clients online or anything like that, this program is not for you. This program is for you if you've been showing up online. I've seen so many of you, right, being on Facebook Lives, showing up. And one of the things I will be covering during this program also is how to actually formulate your message in a way that is so compelling that people want to actually buy from you very quickly, right? Buy from you very quickly. And so I see that quite often. I can listen to some of your Facebook Lives and I can tell right away, oh, this is missing, this is missing. And again, this isn't about like copycatting or being bad. There are some fundamentals that we all need as we are sharing our message, as we are sharing in our Facebook Lives. There are some fundamentals that actually we all need in our messaging to actually help people that are listening to us, that are inspired by our content, to take action, to take the next action, to join your programs. And again, it's not as difficult as you may think. You don't need to have like a huge, ginormous like email list or anything like that, but it takes certain steps that I'll be sharing inside of the program. And the other thing also that it takes is letting go of shedding off a lot of beliefs, a lot of our own preconceived ideas, a lot of things that we may be carrying from childhood that we may not even know that are weighing us down, right? Very, very tiny stuff. You wouldn't even think that this is weighing you down, but when you dig deeper, you realize, oh my God, because of this little tiny thing, I kept myself from doing XYZ. I kept myself from growing my business to the place I wanted it to be. I've always wanted it to be. I kept myself from being of service. I kept myself from really showing up as the full me in my business so that I can be of service and change people's lives and change people's bring healings in people's lives and change the world, actually, right? That's how we change the world, one person at a time. And the other thing that I'll be sharing also throughout this 6-week program will be this big subject about money, right? One of the chapters, one of the modules is called, I call it Making Friends with Money. Making friends with money. This is like fundamental. This is so fundamental in our ability to keep our business running. So if no matter how good your skills are, right? I know because I've been there. No matter how good your skills are, if you do not master, if you do not really leverage that knowing, that knowledge, that really like the energy of money, right? Then it's not coming, right? It's not coming no matter how hard you work. That is when we end up, like working really, really hard, having like gazillions of clients, being on calls all the time. But at the end of the month, there's nothing to show for it. There's nothing to show for it. And then we end up being drained. We end up being very tired. And at the end of the day, which is the worst part, is that it drains our energy from our gifts. Right, it drains us and then like kind of like puts shadows on our gifts, which is very, very, very sad. Very, very sad. right? Okay, so now I'm going to read to you, right? So if you want to know more about this program, it's called Dehesa. You can go to Dehesa.com, Dehesa.com // 5K to 10K, 5 to 10K months, right? Let me see if I have the correct. Dehesa.com, hello, there you go, hello, 5 to 10K, hello, 5 to 10K. And I'm just going to read some of the chapters I have for you here, and then after that I'm just going to say goodbye, right? This program is for you if you absolutely love your work and the idea of being of service to others lights you up, right? Absolutely. You can tell by me being here, right, that this work is the work of my life. It's the love of my life. It's like, oh my God, nothing lights me up more than doing this work. Nothing, right? Nothing. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my kids and all that. But this has a special place in my heart, right? So if you have that, if you you are super excited about serving your clients, and you are really excited about the idea of making 5K to 10K months in the next few weeks by helping others. You are brilliant at what you do. You can't find, but somehow you cannot find the people to pay you for your services, or you are tired of getting on sales call only to hear I'm not ready now and I can't afford it and stuff like that. So if you are one, and I have a whole lot more, then please join me. Please go to Dehesa.com / hello 5K, 5 to 10K. And in case you are wondering, I will be putting the link here later and you can join, right? So module 1 is all about foundation for consistent 5Ks, 10Ks. And so in that module, you'll discover and release the deeply rooted reasons that prevented you and will keep preventing you, by the way, from making those 10Ks and beyond if you don't address that, right? And then you'll also learn the only one thing without which you will keep spinning around wondering how others are doing it, even with less skills than yours, right? Even, have you ever been there where you're like, oh my God, she has less skills than mine. My skills are even more than hers, but yet I can't make that kind of money. If you've ever felt like that, you will want to put yourself in here. And then you also identify and let go of the real reason why you are stuck making very little money while giving a whole lot of value. Module 2 is about making friends with money. You'll learn the money principle without which you could be going for the next 10-20 years and not be anywhere near where your dream goals are when it comes to money, and even when it comes to your impact or your business, right? And then you'll tap into the energy of money to allow money to freely flow into your bank account. Right? And then you'll learn the simple habits that will make money attraction really magical in your business. And then module 3 is all about client attraction content made fun and easy, right? I was sharing earlier, I've seen many of you on Facebook Lives and really sharing your heart, but there are, I see it quite often, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could tell her this. I wish I could share this with you. I wish I could. If she did only this, that would change everything for her. And so those are the things that I'm going to be sharing in module 3. It's called, one is learn how to make content creation so pleasurable and so much fun, right? Some people tell me, I don't know what to share. I don't know how to create content. I don't know how to do this, right? And so I'm going to make it very fun for you to create content that appeals so much to your audience by just being you, and you will not even want to stop sharing with your audience, right? And then you will discover the missing piece in formulating your message. And I see this again, I've seen this so many times, right? In formulating your message that is keeping high-paying clients far, far away from you, even though you may be showing up consistently, you may be showing up every single day, even though you may be doing that, because these missing pieces, these pieces are missing from your content, from your messaging. you are not getting clients, right? And then the third thing about messaging that I'll be sharing with you is messaging like you've never heard before, right? My little twist that gets clients impatiently waiting for my next offer. So I'm going to be sharing that with you in module 3. Module 4 is all about the fundamental energetic condition for easy 5K. Okay, the fundamental like energetic condition, right? That you need, energetic condition that you need in your body for you to be inspired, for you to be taking action like a gangbuster, for you to be like out there in a way that, you know, like creating that absolutely like a glow around you, where people are like, I want more of what she got, right? I want more of what she got. So in that module, some of the things that I'm going to be sharing will be to learn how to let your magnetic field do all the client attraction for you, right? I am like a foreigner in America, right? English was never my first language. But yet when I started, the one thing I could write on my energy. And that made a huge difference. That made a huge difference. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to recover your full energetic condition necessary for both creativity and client attraction. This subject is a whole subject for another day. I'm going to tap into that maybe sometime this week. Right? And then the other thing I'm going to be sharing with you is how to create a golden client attraction aura, right? I've gotten so many clients that look at me. Some people have the success. They can see, they can feel more than other people. Some people, especially the people they can see my aura, they can see my energy field, right? They are like this. Like, they don't need any selling to. They like that because they already know. They already know your vibration. They already know how high you're vibrating. They can already see that glow around you, and they feel like they want to be around that. So I'm going to show you exactly how to create that for yourself, right? And in module 5 is all about confidently increasing your fees, right? Discover the easiest way to raise your prices and still have clients eager and happily. I've got so many people say, oh my God, I am so happy to pay for your fees. I am so happy to pay for your services because you give so much value, right? So discover the easiest way to raise your prices and still have clients eager to happily pay you. And I've had other people tell me, you know, like when they are in the, you know, like we all get there. We're like in the mindset, we're like, oh my God, nobody will buy from me, blah, blah, blah. That's lies we tell ourselves, right? Really lies we tell ourselves. And then I'll share with you the one thing that you may be doing right now that will for sure keep you from being paid at higher prices, for sure. Right? And then on module 6, I will show you the roadmap to 20K plus months, right? I'll show you learn how to find inspiration in creating your own unique strategies that will be so aligned with you and will be bringing you massive results. And I'll also share my little mind screen secret, right? It's really, mind screen secret is really learning how to tap into the invisible world to manifest in the physical world, right? That's what it means, right? And so through energy, to create tangible results in the physical world. With this on your side, you can create anything that you choose to. So those were, and then there's a bonus module, which is like tools and strategies that are working super well for me right now. I'm sharing my own unique strategies that I actually don't see anybody else using out there. I'm sharing my own strategies that you can take, and then I'll show you how to make them your own, how to come up with your own inspired strategies. Because here's what I have seen is that when you tap into your own unique strategies that are just for you, uniquely for you, right? Then that is when, boom, magic happens. That is when magic happens. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you. If you want to know more about this program, please go to dhessa.com/hello 5 to 10K. Hello number 5. Okay, sorry, I froze a little bit. Okay, so dhessa.com/hello number 5 and then TO and then 10K and then you'll learn all about this. So I have one special bonus for the first 5 people that pay full price for this program. If you want to know all about it, please go. So I keep getting interrupted. That's because my son needs me to go pick, my other son needs me to go pick him up now. All right, so I was so happy to be here with you. So glad you showed up live. I appreciate you so much. I will talk to you soon. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye. See you later. Oh, you're welcome, Alicia.